When a team enters the most critical stretch of the season with legitimate World Series aspirations, every detail starts to matter. It doesn't matter how talented the roster is or how many stars are scattered across the diamond. There comes a point when games are no longer decided solely by elite hitters or starting pitchers. In the biggest matchups of the year, it's often the smallest adjustments that end up changing the fate of an entire franchise. And that's exactly why a new rumor involving the Yankees has started gaining so much traction behind the scenes across Major League Baseball. Adrian Morejon, one of the most consistent left-handed relievers of the past few seasons, has emerged as a potential target for New York's front office. While this move may not carry the same media impact as landing a superstar, it could represent exactly the kind of quiet acquisition that makes an enormous difference once October arrives. Our fanbase knows better than anyone how a dominant bullpen can completely transform a season. The Yankees built part of their identity over the past several decades around reliable relief pitching capable of protecting slim leads against the league's most dangerous offenses. But the 2026 season has shown there are still vulnerable areas, especially when it comes to left-handed bullpen depth. Some pitchers have failed to deliver the consistency that was expected, while others have ended up carrying a much heavier workload than originally planned. In a tight race for the division lead and favorable playoff positioning, relying solely on the current options may be a risk the front office simply doesn't want to take. That's exactly where Adrian Morejon begins to stand out. For years, his name was surrounded by enormous expectations after emerging as one of the top prospects in Cuban baseball. Early in his career, injuries, inconsistency, and limited opportunities prevented that potential from being fully realized. Many believed he would never live up to the hype that surrounded him when he signed his first professional contract. But baseball has a way of rewarding players who reinvent themselves, and Morejon found his place by fully embracing the role of a reliever, completely transforming his career and becoming one of the most dependable arms in San Diego's bullpen. And this is where the story becomes even more interesting. As the Padres see their chances of winning the division all but disappear while fighting an uphill battle for the final National League wildcard spot, the organization inevitably has to evaluate its future. With Adrian Morejon heading toward free agency at the end of the season, keeping such a valuable player for only a few more months may not be the smartest decision. Instead of risking losing him for nothing, San Diego could view the trade deadline as the perfect opportunity to strengthen its farm system while helping a legitimate championship contender. And few teams seem to fit that scenario better than the Yankees. The numbers make the case even stronger. Morejon isn't simply enjoying a temporary hot streak. On the contrary, he has built a consistent track record of excellence over the past 3 seasons, posting outstanding command, striking out hitters at an increasing rate, and limiting hard contact with remarkable efficiency. His 4-pitch arsenal allows him to face both right-handed and left-handed hitters without relying exclusively on matchup advantages, a trait that is extremely valuable in today's game. For a bullpen searching for stability in high-pressure moments, that kind of versatility is priceless. But perhaps the most important aspect is something else entirely. The Yankees don't necessarily need to find a new closer or someone who dominates the headlines. The roster already has pitchers capable of handling the final innings. The real challenge is building a chain of reliable arms that prevents any drop-off in performance from the 6th through the 9th inning. That's exactly where Adrian Morejon could make an immediate impact, providing quality, recent experience in meaningful games, and the rare ability to neutralize any section of an opposing lineup. For our fanbase, this rumor represents much more than simple trade speculation. It symbolizes a front office that appears to understand exactly what's missing to transform a good roster into a true championship contender. If this deal actually happens, it may not generate the biggest headlines of the trade deadline. But once the most important games of the season begin and every out is worth almost as much as a victory, there's a good chance we'll look back and realize that it was this seemingly quiet move that helped push the Yankees one step closer to another World Series title. When you look at the bigger picture, everything starts to make sense. The Yankees don't need to overhaul their roster before the trade deadline. The core of the team remains strong, the offense continues to be competitive, and the rotation has enough talent to compete against anyone in a short series. The front office's true objective is to eliminate the small weaknesses that can become costly in October and the bullpen clearly stands out as one of the top priorities. In seasons defined by parity, a single unreliable reliever can completely change the outcome of what once looked like a promising campaign. Adrian Morejon fits perfectly into that strategy because his performance is no longer a surprise. It has become a standard of excellence. After overcoming the struggles that marked the beginning of his career, the left-hander found his identity as a reliever and improved year after year. Between 2024 and 2025, he posted an impressive 2.42 ERA and a 2.52 FIP across 135 appearances, numbers that show his success wasn't driven by luck, but by a consistent arsenal and an increasing ability to dominate hitters from both sides of the plate. The 2026 season has only reinforced that progression. With more than 50 innings pitched, Morejon has maintained a 2.40 FIP, increased his strikeout rate to nearly 28%, and continued limiting walks, a combination that championship contenders value immensely. His durability also stands out. In the grind of a long season, being able to rely on the same reliever multiple times a week without a drop in effectiveness provides a tremendous competitive advantage, especially during the playoff race. But perhaps the most important factor is the cost of acquiring him. Since Morejon will become a free agent after the season, the Padres are unlikely to demand a package comparable to what elite superstars would command. That places the Yankees in an attractive position, allowing them to significantly strengthen the bullpen without sacrificing their top prospects. For a front office determined to win now while preserving the franchise's future, few opportunities seem to offer such a favorable balance between risk and reward. And that's where this story takes on an even greater significance. The potential addition of Adrian Morejon wouldn't simply address an immediate bullpen need. It would also send a clear message to the rest of Major League Baseball. Whenever the Yankees aggressively enter the trade market before the deadline, the message is straightforward. The organization believes it has a legitimate chance to compete for the World Series right now. Moves like this change how opponents view the team, strengthen the confidence inside the clubhouse, and raise fan expectations even further as the season enters its final stretch. Looking specifically at the playoffs, the value of a pitcher like Morejon becomes even more apparent. In short postseason series, managers handle their pitching staffs much differently than they do during the regular season. Starters rarely stay in games for extended innings when the score is close, making the bullpen a decisive factor almost every night. Having a left-hander capable of entering high-pressure situations, facing the heart of the opposing lineup, and escaping unscathed can be the difference between advancing to the next round or seeing the season come to an abrupt end. That's exactly the profile Morejon has built over the past few years, demonstrating maturity, composure, and consistency even under the most difficult circumstances. At the same time, the trade would make sense for both organizations. The Padres could turn a player who is about to reach free agency into future assets, while the Yankees would add a contributor ready to make an immediate impact without significantly altering the roster structure. That's the hallmark of the smartest trades, benefiting both franchises according to their respective goals. Now the question is whether Brian Cashman will act before other teams enter the race. Several playoff contenders are also searching for bullpen reinforcements, and a pitcher with Morejon's recent track record certainly won't go unnoticed. If the Yankees truly believe this roster has the potential to win another championship, waiting too long could mean missing a valuable opportunity. And when the trade deadline finally arrives, this deal could be remembered as one of the most important and strategic moves of the entire season. In the end, everything depends on whether the front office is willing to seize an opportunity that may not come around again. Adrian Morejon possesses exactly the qualities a championship contender looks for at this stage of the season. Recent high-level experience, consistent numbers, the ability to perform in critical moments, and a potentially affordable acquisition cost. If the Padres truly open trade discussions before the deadline, the Yankees will have the chance to strengthen a bullpen that could prove decisive in their pursuit of another World Series. Sometimes it's not the biggest blockbuster signings that change a season, but the quieter moves that provide stability when the pressure is at its highest. Now we want to hear from you. Do you believe Adrian Morejon is the missing piece to make the Yankees bullpen even stronger? Which players or prospects would you be willing to include in a trade for him? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, Yankees Nation.